Hello and welcome to our HBCU Spotlight, where we are highlighting individuals who have attended HBCUs and who have exemplified excellence. This week we have been talking to Spelman women, which is so fitting because myself, Ashley Deadwyler-Jones, is a Spelmanite, and my co-host, Andrea Evans, is also a Spelman woman. Today we are going to be speaking with Calida Garcia Rawles, who is a very, very talented artist, and I will be doing her a disservice to try to intro her because she's done amazing things. She has a lot of talent. So Calida, please tell us about yourself, what you're doing, and what you're doing since Spelman, and after that, tell us about what led your steps towards Spelman in the first place.
Hi, how are you? Let's see. What led me, wait, should I answer the first question, or last?
Who are you? Who are you? What makes you so excited? Why are you being highlighted and spotlighted today?
Why am I being highlighted? Because, let's see. I'm a painter. I do figurative work. I've been using water as a visual language with my work, discussing difficult, divisive issues, but using water as a way to show them in a very beautiful way. Most of it deals with identity and gender politics. I had a wonderful solo show at various small fires in February, and it did very well. And I've been highlighted in a few magazines, and I'm a Spelman woman. So I guess all of that is why I'm being highlighted today. The last question I heard you ask was, what led me to Spelman?
Yes.
And I would say the first reason I applied is because my father made me. I was like, I'm not going to any girls' school, what you talking about, right? But then I went with my best friend to go visit Spelman College during a weekend. And her name is Ashley Deadwyler-Jones, coincidentally. So we went down we're both in the same high school, both coming from Wilmington, Delaware. And we went to visit Spelman during a perspective weekend. And it was just amazing. I enjoyed seeing all of the young women, seemed like they all were driven, top of their classes, seemed like people had it together, and I wanted to be a part of that group. I didn't know I knew I always wanted to be an artist, but I did not think it was going to be a career, honestly. I was a little afraid of making it a career. But when I started taking the classes, the painting classes and drawing classes, I just felt like I could learn so much. I wanted to concentrate, and I was an art major.
So let's talk about that, Calida, because first of all, congratulations on all your success. I mean, you have introduced yourself, but I mean, your art can be found on the walls of several celebrities, you know? So congratulations for just pursuing your dream. And let's talk about that because you're from Delaware, you choose to go to Spelman, and you decide to major in art. So that's kind of like a non-traditional major. You know, our families will push us to be doctors and lawyers and engineers. And when you went home to your parents and said, look, I'm going to go to Spelman, Dad, thanks for pushing me. And, you know, I love the school. But when you decided to major in art, obviously they knew you were talented, but did you have any pushback from your family or friends about that major?
Yes. It was very much like, why don't you make it as a minor? It would be more smart to do this than that. And I think I understand it as a parent. I understand, especially as having Black parents. I mean, I think that we come from a place of survival thinking, you know, like most of our ideas and how we raise our children is about like, this is going to make you eat. This is not, you know, like this will help you survive. And if you have that mindset, taking a risky type of career it seems very scary, and you probably would push your children to not do that. But I had to get over that mindset. And it took many years, even after I got out of school, I was still kind of like, even though I was a major, I did kind of, kept always looking at that backup plan and always trying to spend time figuring out ways to make money instead of put that energy just into painting. And I think when I really concentrated and just kind of like really let go is when, you know, it was more beneficial to my art practice. But it takes a long time to unlearn that kind of mindset of like, oh, you want to do that? Well, make sure you spend your time here and there. And that's scary. And you have to think about how you're going to eat. There's different ways to do it. But I understand it. It's our culture. We want safety nets for our children, you know, and being an art major is not a safe type, it's not a traditional way that you know how you're going to pay your next bill. You know, you have to, you know, take a lot of risk. It's a lot of risk. But I'm happy. I'm blessed. It worked. And I'm very happy with the way my career is going. And it is also finding your voice, you know, like I had to find my own individual voice, and that was very hard too. And that's why it was beneficial to be a major and think about it, but then also to not be safe. And I find myself there in even the execution of the paintings. When you think of sales, when I'm painting, I'm thinking, is this gonna sell? Is this gonna sell? That can also hinder what you're gonna paint and how well you're gonna paint. And I always have to fight that off because, you know, I have a husband and kids and bills. And there are times when I'm painting, I am nervous about certain things with my work because I'm thinking this one sold. So maybe I should, you know, think of it in a capitalistic mindset. This one works, but art doesn't work like that. Not fine art. Now there's different forms of art. There's commercial art and there's fine art. I'm in fine art, so that won't work in that model. You know, like the mass producing of an idea. It's a different model that's hard somewhat to understand or explain in the way, you know, things are set up in our industry and our culture here. But I always have to take risks beyond what is, you know, what if I keep painting what sold before, like works that are just like before, then it will become commercial and then the value goes down.
That's good to know. Calida, you're always shedding some light as to, you know, what makes an artist, especially a fine artist. And I mean, it's a lot to know. A lot of us just, you know, on an average, folks just don't understand the importance and the value of investing in art and, you know, just how, you know, how profitable it can be for you, you know, just kind of as a stock in your home, on your wall, right? But tell me about that investment, right, that your family made into Spelman and how that helped you to not just be successful at Spelman, because you continued your journey at NYU. Tell me about that. How did that experience at Spelman shape you and prepare you for one of the top art schools in the nation so that you could continue to be successful there?
I mean, Spelman definitely prepared me. I felt like Spelman prepared me way more for what I'm doing now than any school. Mm-hmm. But what made the Spelman experience unique is I cannot name right now any of my professors at NYU. Like I flushed that memory out. Like I can't even, I know what their faces look like. I don't even remember them really. Mm-hmm. But I do remember Arturo Lindsay, my painting teacher, who I actually talked to about a week ago. And I do know Professor Lev Mills, who was the head of the art department, who I talked to a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. I'm still in contact with my professors. I love them. They're in my journey. I still like, if I go to Atlanta, I would call them up. They are almost like family. And I don't know at another school, especially the art department is so small. It's such a small area to major in. You get very close relationships with your teachers and professors. And, you know, I'm still in contact with them. And that's what, I don't know, their advice, talking through the process of things. They're always like a resource that I can go to.
Well, I love what you said about family. And you're right, the AUC is a family. The entire Atlanta University Center is a family. But Spelman, you know, we call it a sisterhood. And it's true because it's like you're amongst your sisters. And so I want to ask you, because you said Spelman prepared you for NYC and kind of shaped you into the woman that you are today. If you had to choose just one experience, one major thing that happened to you at Spelman that you kind of lean back on and say, oh, but you know, this is going to motivate me to push to be where I am today, what would that one experience be? Or maybe that one thing one of your sisters said to you that keeps you going today?
Ooh, that's a good question. I remember one of my professors pulled me to the side, and I remember he was like, I think I did something like, I did a good job with some type of assignment that we had, but he could tell I was kind of like BSing or did it fast. And I remember, you know, we had the class, and then he was like, hold on, you know, Calida, can I pull you outside? And he pulled me out there, and he was like, you're talented, but don't get lazy. Don't think just because you're talented, it's going to take you places. It's the hard work. You know, it's the dedication and the time, and I can see you didn't do that, and it was pretty disappointing. And I was like, crushed to the soul, but I'll never forget that. And that's one of my teachers I talked to today. And I remember that he pulled me to let me know that, like, check yourself. and I appreciate that. That was something that I think about all the time. And I realize even with, you know, art, I mean, any type of field, especially if you want to be really good at it, is somewhat competitive, right? In some way, you know who your peers are and what you're doing with, but I'm really competitive with myself. You know, I look at the work and I won't stop until I really love it. And I'm not gonna, can I curse on here? No.
This is the second person who has that. Both of my very good friends. No, you can't. Don't curse.
I can't. Okay. I was not going to have it. You know, I wasn't going to like not really. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. You know, and it's for me. It's not for others. And I do not. I love to know what other people are doing, but I'm in my own lane, and I'm just trying to do the best of what I can do. And I think about that. With that professor saying that to me, that pushed me, and his voice is always in my head. That was Professor Lindsay. Wow.
Well, Calida, your experience at Spelman, it took you beyond Spelman. It took you into doing some things internationally as an artist. If you can tell us about that, and then I think you've also had an opportunity to come back and teach. Have you taught some classes or been on campus and done some things, giving back to Spelman, changing the world?
I did an artist in residency there. I have been back, I believe, twice and did a few talks in the art department. And that was awesome. I, you know, gave a piece of art for an auction. Mm-hmm. I need to be more involved in the Spelman alumni here, but at one point I was. I've been kind of crazy. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I think that has thrown off my schedule for a lot of things. I have like 3 kids in the house, but you know, younger one, it's kind of hard to give as much as I want in other areas, but yeah.
Well, you know, you're giving a lot though, Calida. Now, you know, I'm not going to let you slide by saying that the 4-year-old is, you know, your steps are ordered, and the fact that you have done so much. So I want to talk about that. Like, what are you most proud of in your career? You've done so many things. What are you most proud of that you know, that your kids, like you said, you have young kids. What does your 4-year-old daughter tell her friends about her mom that you feel good about?
Let me think. Well, I think my last show, A Dream for My Lilith, I pushed myself paintings. There's one painting that's like 12 feet by 14 feet. No, 8 feet by 14 feet. And that was a hard painting to achieve. I was on a scaffolding, and the time, that was something I'm very proud of. I'm proud of, or something my kids will see, is I did Ta-Nehisi Coates' book cover, Water Dancer. I think that will live on. I think since the book did so well and had such national acclaim, when people see that cover, it's going to be somewhat iconic, which was the point of why I was asked to do it, or that was the request. I want an iconic cover, is what he said to me. And I had to think about that. And I'm very happy that I feel like I achieved it. I think that when people see that image, even if the words weren't there, they would know that's the book. And I get requests. There was like Brazil, this publisher in Brazil contacted me and asked if they could make a puzzle from it. Like I get all these different, like the rights for all different things of these images that I did for Water Dancer. And that worked. I was very, very, very happy of being asked to do it. That not only did I made 6 images for ideas for the cover, but the publishers bought the right to 4 out of the 6. And so they'll be on rotation. You see it in the front and the back and in other areas. So for years to come, when they republished a book, maybe the 10-year anniversary, 20-year anniversary, 50-year, you may have another cover, but they'll all be mine. There's 4. So I don't know how long these images will last in history in conjunction to the book and the publishing of it.
Wow, Calida, I'm just
that's the beauty of art. That's just the beauty of art, just your legacy. Congratulations. That's saying a lot, because your work will live beyond your life and your children's life. And that is amazing. You are amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And then the show bought in the show, then February, 2 of the pieces were bought by institutions. One, I can't name them yet, because it has to be, there's a few more things to be signed off. But one is a major museum in New York, and the other one is the largest museum on the West Coast. So you can figure that out wherever those people are. But that is really great, because that means since it's bought in a museum and they're state run, as long as the museum exists, as long as the United States government exists, those paintings will be in those collections. So that means as long as the United States, like I say, and the government is paying its bills for, museums, my daughter's grandchildren will go to those museums and they'll see those paintings.
Wow.
And for every year, it'll never leave those collections. So that's something I'm proud of too.
And Calida, again, a lot of us not being familiar with the level of art that you have, we see your work and we're like, oh, I want to get that. Let me call her and buy this. Can you explain to the world, even to help people understand, even as your best friend, right? Tell them, what's the process, if in all there is a process in getting your artwork? Is it attainable for most people to just go and come to your studio and just pick up a piece? Where are you now in your career? Is that possible?
No. Well, I've sold out of my pieces, but now I'm represented by a gallery. And so if anyone wanted to buy a piece of art, I would send them to various small fires. They can contact them. I do have a list of people that are interested in the work. And if you are very interested, you can get on that. I am just painting, now, and those that have already wrote the gallery or called the gallery will, be contacted as pieces are available until I have another show. What's going on right now, and this time it's kind of hard because I don't know when I'll have another show, right? Because galleries usually set a show. I mean, I can sell without having a show. Like, if you're on the list and I have painting available. But what I'm saying is the next time I'll be showing in a public space with what's happening now, galleries usually set a show about a year in advance and everything is frozen. And so who knows when things are opening up, but I hope my next show, actually, I will be showing this summer in South Korea. So I have 3 pieces that I will be presenting in South Korea. You see they are doing very well with the virus, they're maintaining it. So their economy has gone back up and people are going out now. So that's a safe place. So I have that this summer, but for the next show in the United States, I don't know yet when, but when everything's open up, and then I can talk to galleries and get on a calendar, and, you know, so it'll be a little bit.
Wow. Well, that's amazing to know that people are lined up literally to not only see your artwork, but to just get on the list, right? And for you to take the time to be with us today as your Spelman sisters, it means so much. And I'm just curious, when you think about 1994, walking through those gates of Spelman, did you ever dream that you would be where you were today? Like, we all aspire to be the best in our careers. You went in through the gates and said, I'm going to major in art. So you knew that you would be an artist, but did you know that it would, you be where you are today? Like, you're an icon, literally, a living icon.
I don't know if an icon, but I'll take that. Thank you.
Embrace that, babe.
No, I don't think when I went into Spelman, I understood this industry. You know, I probably understood more commercial art. Like, I was like, I want to have a painting and everyone have it. You know what I mean? Or like an image from Target or something that's mass produced. This is it's a different world. I don't think I was very familiar with it. Like you were saying, Ashley, it's not something that unfortunately we teach in school very well. It's very small world, and in the art, you know, department, they talk about it, but they don't talk about the investment in art. And which I am happy about is in our music now, there's a lot of talk, especially with Jay-Z and like Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. They've been really trying to promote us as a culture understanding about buying Black art. I saw that Sean Puffy Combs bought the Carrie James Marshall piece, which was like, you know, off the record of a Black artist. Mm-hmm. So we are starting to invest, because in this type of industry, most white people or non-Black people buy our work. So, and Black people usually do not invest in that. They'll spend money on a car, right? Or an expensive purse, unfortunately. And I know these are kind of stereotypes, but we buy a lot of material, mm-hmm. but fine art does go up in value. So if you buy an artist, and let's say they are in museums, and the more institutions that you're in, where they'll, you know, that there will be a legacy like that in certain shows, then that work will go up. So if you have a piece on your wall and you invest in that artist and help that person's career grow, your money, like your painting, will go up in value. You know, so it's a way, like I've seen, like I said, Jay-Z talk about it in his music lately. I think he's trying to educate people. Like, I bought this, you know, I forgot the line, but I bought this painting for 1 million and it became, you know, 4 million. You know, it's a way that we could invest, you know, but there's just not a lot about it for us to understand it, because and a lot of art, especially if you get artists in it as they're coming up, it's not like millions, or, you know, like you can get something at a very good price. You know, it's all relative of what is a good price, but, you know, way less than a car. And then it could be more than a car later, you know?
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Well, Calida, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. I don't think there's a better way that I could spend, you know, 15, 20 minutes, but just chatting with my bestie. So thanks so much. And if you could tell the rest of the world the best place to find you on social media, how to contact your gallerist, we would love for you to share that once more.
Okay. I'm mostly on Instagram if I'm posting anything. And my handle is my name, you know, at Calida Garcia Rawles. And I do have a website, which is also my name, you know, CalidaGarciaRawles.com. And my gallery is Various Small Fires, and that is in Hollywood, or North Hollywood. And there it is.
Well, thank you so much again for taking time out of your busy schedule. You have really inspired me to, you know, look at the art that I'm purchasing and look at it as an investment. And for you to have had that dream at such a young age, and to go to college and just like you said, like that Spelman professor said, to work hard. You know, you can tell just by the way you've talked about your work today that you're very passionate about what you do, and it shows through the work that you produce. So keep up the good work, and thank you so much for joining Ashley and I today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate it. And Spelman was amazing, and I hope my children will be blessed to have that opportunity to go.